I'm Zora.
And I'm Warren, and welcome home. Today we're going to talk about how to sell your home as a FSBO. So there's many reasons why a FSBO could be a risky or bad idea. We're going to save that stuff for the end of the video. This video is about how to sell a FSBO, or how to sell as for sale by owner. It's not about why you shouldn't. We'll cover anything excessive later. People often do FSBOs thinking they'll walk away with more money, which isn't necessarily true. So let's do what we can to help make you the exception.
So first things first, you want to make sure that you price your home correctly. We've kind of spoke on this in another video, but what realtors do is what's called CMAs. Those are comparative market analysis. If you're going to be selling it on your own, you want to make sure you're getting the most for your money. And in order to do this, you're going to want to know your market. Knowing your market looks like checking out homes that already sold in your neighborhood and seeing what they sold for, checking out homes that are for sale. So with realtors, we have access to the MLS, but because you will be selling it on your own, you'll have to use other resources. This can look like Realtor.com, Zillow. That's the number one, of course. A lot of people use Craigslist as well, and just lots of other websites. If you want to know, you can message us for more. But yes, you want to be comparing each home so that you know what houses are selling for in the market. Once you do that, you want to make sure that your house is around that price range. We should actually do a video on that, just how to price your home. Actually, I think we are doing a video on that, how to price your home correctly. But in short, you're looking at, does that house have a pool? Is it a two-story? Is it a single story? How many square feet is it? Take all of that into consideration in order to figure out how to accurately price your home so that it's competitive on the market and that you get the most for your home.
Another thing to think about is the neighborhood. One neighborhood,
Yeah.
you're gonna have a 5-bedroom, 4-bath for $700,000. Another neighborhood, you're gonna have a 5-bed, 4-bath for $400,000.
Yeah, and that can even be literally like right across the street. You just have to make sure you're looking in the right areas and doing your due diligence.
And the reason you want to price correctly the first time when doing it for sale by owner is because the buyer interest, the people coming to look at and buy your property, is going to be the highest in the first 2 to 3 weeks. After that, people are going to start wondering, why didn't this property sell? What's wrong with it? You know, things like that. And then if you go and drop the price, they're going to be having the same thoughts, like, oh, my house isn't selling, I got to drop and lower the price. People are going to be like, oh, it's been on the market for a month now, 2 months now, and they dropped the price. There's something really wrong with that. You know, less people are going to come check it out. The people that do come check it out are also going to probably try and negotiate a little harder with you because they're going to know you need it.
Yeah, so this is something that's super important because you want to make sure you get it right the first time.
Yes. Negotiation skills is next. If you're selling your home and somebody wants something fixed, they're going to try and negotiate it with you. And you might end up having a deal, you might end up not having a deal based off of this. You might send them a response back and say, hey, you know what? I don't want to pay to have the roof fixed, and I don't want to fix it before you move in, but I'll cut off a little bit of money on the sales price. And they might look at you and go, no deal, but hey, we just put in an offer over here and it looks good. Or they might look at you and say, hey, you know what, we can live with that. So learning to negotiate and know what somebody, you know, is looking for, that's the biggest thing if you're ever going to negotiate. What do they need? What are their needs? If I'm ever negotiating, I'm asking, you know, if you go to a seller, what does your seller need? What are they looking for? You know, are they moving into another place? Do they need some time? You know, things like that. You might not always get an answer, but sometimes you will. You know, you can't dig too much because technically people's personal info can't really be given out like that. But I mean, as an agent myself, I'm representing somebody, I can get in trouble for that.
But as a seller by owner without an agent, you have a little bit more leeway, but you still want to be, you know, of course, ethical.
Mm-hmm.
Staging, my favorite.
Yeah. Even if it's your own stuff, stage it.
Yeah.
If people want to buy your house, clean your freaking house.
Yeah, and that's something we kind of spoke on a little bit, but like, if you're having a realtor, they're probably going to bring in some of their own staging stuff because, you know, they sell houses all the time. But if you're selling it yourself, you've got to work with what you got, right? And the whole point of trying to sell for yourself, a lot of people are trying to save money. So if you're trying to save money, all you have to do is maybe get a storage unit or something, or even go into your new property if you already have it and put as much stuff, get as much stuff as you can out of your house so that it's clean and orderly and welcoming for someone who can walk in, who's a buyer, and they're ready to purchase your home so they can imagine their own family in that house.
Yes. Yep, keep just the essentials and things that look good. You don't want clutter. You got a whole rack of DVDs, you better take that thing and get it out of there. Exactly. Next thing you're gonna wanna make sure to do is do improvements and repairs as needed, but don't overdo it. You don't have to overdo it. Here's the thing, okay? We've seen some properties where people will price their home for how much money they put into it, okay? There was a property on the street, I was actually living right across the street at the time. The outside looked like everyone else's house. The inside, it was fancy, it was beautiful, there was technology in there, it was ridiculous. And you know what? They couldn't sell it for what they put into it, not even close. Not even close, just sat on the market.
Yeah, and what happened over time, the owner reduced the price more and more. Don't overspend when trying to repair your home and improve it to go on the market. Yep. Again, minor improvements, and then also again, look at the market. Is it a seller's market, buyer's market, or is it neutral? That will kind of help you to determine how much you need to put into your home.
Yep. Good thing to keep in mind is what our home inspector is going to find. You know, if you have to, go buy and get a pre-inspection. Because if the inspector says, hey, this water heater is going to have to be replaced within the next 5 years, someone might use that as bargaining chip. Hey, you know, the roof is old, it's about time to be replaced. Or there's a leak over here. The ones that you can afford to take care of, take care of. The ones you can't, try to negotiate, you know, but keep in mind what you're dealing with.
And on that note too, some cosmetic things that would help your home to stand out when taking photos and having people come in. Biggest ones are always the kitchen, so cabinetry and countertop. We're making a video on this as well, but definitely kitchen, bathroom, and then floors. So floors and then fresh paint. These are like really easy things that you can do. So making sure the floors are clean and new. Sometimes a lot of people will literally just replace the carpet for wood, and you can get like the really cheap snap-in floors. That will literally change your entire mood of the home.
Yep, and curb appeal is huge. Cut your yard, water your grass, edge your grass. It's like people say don't judge a book by its cover. They say it because people do judge books by their covers.
Exactly.
Right? So people are going to do that with your house. They're going to walk up, they're going to see the front of your home, and they're going to go, ugh. Or they're going to go, wow, this is beautiful.
And just drive away.
Yeah. Do you have pets? If you do have pets, get them out, take care and clean up after them. Right? Please. No one wants a dog barking at them while they're trying to look at a house, or they don't want to ruin.
On them. Because some people are allergic to, you have to think about other people. Fluffy may be the best kitten or dog ever, and you love them, part of the family, but they're part of your family, not the person who's moving in.
Yes, and keeping one room shut out, that one room might make the difference of a sale. You have to put them in this room and leave them in there. So now speaking on how it looks, marketing, pictures. Pictures are the biggest. People are going to look online, look at your property, and they're going to look at the pictures first. So if you have a clean property, you take good pictures, you're good. I actually do photos for real estate. So, by the way, but I'm going to give you the cheat codes right here, okay? So you want to take photos that are level, straight up and down, as well as level side to side like that, and you want it at about waist height. The reason you want to do this, you want to have a wide angle lens. It's going to make the room look bigger that way and bigger this way. You're going to capture more of the room. It's going to look more spacious. Now you don't want to go too wide, because if you go too wide, people are going to expect huge rooms, walk in, they're going to see little rooms and be like, you're a liar. Yeah. You know, but you want it to feel spacious and open. You want to give them a feeling. Outside photos, you want to step as far away from the property as you can and zoom in as much as you can until you get framed just right. You want full zoom. Step back till it gets just right. The reason we do this is because you'll notice if you're actually behind the camera, you can actually see more of the roof. And being able to see more of the roof just makes it look that much better. So now that you kind of have all that down, we're going to want to contact a title company Title companies help handle your transaction and carry it along. They check all the corners, make sure everything's right, everything that's needed from both sides is there. They pretty much are the dictators of, is this deal going through or not? And they're gonna help keep people out of legal trouble. You're gonna wanna pre-escrow with a title company. Zora here actually worked for one.
I did. Now, this is when things can get a little bit choppy for you as someone who's selling it by yourself, because escrow for realtors is where the real work for us begins.
It's going down.
Exactly. There's paperwork and a little bit more paperwork. There's also deadlines that have to be met, disclosures that have to be known, inspections that have to be done, which we touched on earlier, depending on who the buyer is and how much they're putting down. All of these things, contingencies that are cleared or not cleared, any liens that are on the property or not on the property, that all determines and goes into how quick or slow escrow will be. It can be longer or shorter. I just want to say this, having an agent for this part is super helpful because they're trained to do this. Agents with other agents have problems in escrow and they do this all the time. This is my little disclaimer. We're here to help you, and that's why I'm trying to let you know. I don't want to deter you from it because we're trying to help you save money, but I do want you to look into it and make sure you have a list of every document that you need, because that's the biggest part of our jobs, really. Have your I's dotted and your T's crossed when it comes to escrow.
Prior to that, you're going to want to open a pre-escrow, which means they're going to put you on file. They're going to give you a number saying this is your escrow number, and they're going to give you what's called a preliminary title report. This doesn't mean you're selling your home just yet. This is them giving you a piece of paper that says if you actually own the home or not, singly as yourself or like as a company. It's going to say who is part of that title, because everyone who's part of that title has to be involved in the sale process. You own it with your wife, you cannot sell it without your wife being a part of the process and her name being on those contracts as well, you know, and vice versa. It's going to say if there's liens against the property, did you get construction done and someone filed a lien but you haven't gotten a letter about it. If there's a lien on your property, you better bet you're probably not going to be able to sell it without speaking to the person who has a lien on your property. And when you do sell it, you're going to have to pay them. So let's also talk about, we talked about pictures, marketing. You're going to want to put up a for sale by owner sign in front of your house. People are going to see this, and you know who's going to love it the most?
Other agents.
So get ready to be harassed.
You have so many phone calls and letters from agents trying to get your home sold because they want to help you sell your home, and we know how difficult it is to sell it. And so agents
do it every day.
Exactly. So agents are going to try and help you sell your home. And for sale by owner, it's a huge sign for agents as well as everyone else, you know, to help you get your home sold. So it's really important that you do have one.
Yep. And here's something you can also do. Speaking of agents, them calling you, you're gonna want to get it listed on the MLS, okay, the multiple listing service. All the agents you talk to are gonna try to sell your home for you. Some of them might not even be willing to do this, but there's a lot of agents for a flat fee. You can pay them for a flat fee to get your property listed on the MLS. That's going to do things like list your property on Zillow and other websites, as well as make your property visible and seeable for other agents looking for homes. Their buyer is going to be like, I want a 4-bed, 3-bath, this many square feet. They're going to type in 4-bed, 3-bath, this many square feet, red front yard. You know,
and your property's gonna pop up.
Exactly. The statistics is 85% of sales come from the internet or the MLS. And the internet means things like Zillows, etc., which guess what? That means the MLS. So with that being said, yeah, pro tip, pay that flat rate, whether you're going to deal with an agent or not to actually sell your home. Another thing to think about is print, direct mail, or social media. You don't have to, but these are thoughts to be had.
These are things that are included in the cost if you do decide to go with an agent, and you'll see that printing costs money and social media ads that you may be running, that all costs money. I'm paying bad cop right now, but those are usually the things that agents do to help market your home, and something that you may want to consider as well.
So another thing to think about is timing your sale. People like to move in the summertime, no one wants to move in the winter. There is special occasions when things are different. There was a really sad time when there was fires in Paradise, which people in California know about. and a lot of people were displaced from homes. And this made it so that over the winter time, those sales kept happening. There wasn't much of a drop in business. And although that was a really sad situation, if someone's looking for a home and you're selling a home, there's kind of a win-win there. So that's the kind of things to keep in mind. What does it look like in your market? What's going on?
It's always a good time to sell your home, really.
Yeah, if it's a good time for you, it's a good time.
Exactly. Just like our last video. Go and watch it here.
Yeah.
Right over Warren's face. Or my face.
I'm not important.
We'll bring it over to my face.
You're also going to want to consult a real estate attorney about disclosures that need to be made. I say this because I don't want any legal trouble. I'm not going to tell you what disclosures. This is something that if you don't do correctly, there can be
legal
repercussions.
Yes.
And there's a lot of disclosures.
Also in California, because we are now in the state that we are in, and I'm talking about the CVID thing, you're going to need a PEAD, Property Entry and Advisory Declaration Form. Because of everything going on, if anyone comes in, you're just going to need to get one of those.
You're going to want to also thoroughly review offers. You're going to have about 3 days most of the time, and if you don't accept, it expires, okay? This is where a lot of the negotiating is going to come in. So this is going to include things like purchase price, the length of that escrow process we talked about. 30 days is generally the amount of time. Sometimes they'll shorten it, 15 days, things like that, and then you're in a rush. As a for sale by owner, I'd give yourself more time rather than less, or you are probably going to be way in over your head. It's going to be really stressful.
So all contingencies during that process are going to be time sensitive.
Yep, and a contingency is something that needs to be removed or done. So if it's like, hey, I'm not buying this home without an inspection, then as soon as I get this inspection and it's taken care of, then that is removed and no longer holding us back from proceeding in the sale. That is called the removal of a contingency. Once you accept an offer, get things going ASAP. Do not wait. The quicker you get it handled, the easier your life is going to be. There's nothing worse than filling out a piece of paper, getting it sent back to you, and your time limit's just about up, and it was sent back to you saying, hey, this was filled out wrong, or this happened, or that happened. We need you to redo this. Whatever the problem might be, you're going to run into situations. They always happen. Give yourself more time, not less. Stay ahead of schedule.
Yes. So just make sure that you're doing what you need to do when you need to do it, also because you can legally be sued.
If you don't perform in a certain amount of time, you might get hit with what's called a notice to perform. And that's pretty much saying, hey, you need to do this or else there's a problem. And you can also send out that same paper. If you're trying to sell it and a buyer's just not doing it, you can hit them with a notice to perform, which will get them to either move forward or help you in pursuing legal action. Buyer backs out after a certain amount of time, you are going to get paid their earnest money deposit. It's kind of a trade-off for damages for you losing a potential sale and wasting your time and potential money. If it does go through and they don't back out, then congratulations. You might just end up closing escrow. If that loan gets approved, you just sold your house. You're a winner. And when you're closing escrow, arrive with identification, call, ask, what are you gonna need? Make sure you have everything. You don't wanna delay the process when you're showing up for signing. Cool thing about being a seller, you have like a sheet of paper to sign, maybe a couple things, you're set. Buyers are the ones that are gonna be sitting there for hours signing.
Yeah.
So you don't have much to do at that point, you're done. Attention. That, right? This is where we talk about the reasons you should have a real estate agent. Don't click off because you're gonna get things to be attentive of, and you should know these. You need to know these before listing your home for sale by owner. You just need to avoid a lawsuit. If you misrepresent anything, if you miss a disclosure, if you don't follow through immediately with things that are time sensitive, you could be really upset with the lawsuit coming your way or just how things go. It just might not be pretty. Here's a classic for anyone that does FSBO, for sale by owner. You probably have heard or will hear from an approaching real estate agent. Think you're going to save money by not having an agent, but an agent's going to make you more cash. Okay? Statistically, real estate agents are going to make you about $65,000 more. That's just kind of the average over for sale by owners versus the actual sales of homes by agents. And you selling your home by yourself, you aren't going to have specialized tools that brokerages do. We have all kinds of cool stuff for marketing and all kinds of things to make our jobs streamlined and easier. You aren't going to have that. It's going to be a lot more difficult. And it's already difficult for someone who knows what they're doing.
And again, we don't want to put you down or anything or stop you from doing it. We just are laying out the facts for you so that you know what you're going into.
Yeah, we want to get you ready ahead of time. I'd rather you be more stressed out before you get started, think it's easier, than think it's going to be easy and end up really stressed out.
Right.
And it is stressful. It can be a full-time job, just letting you know. If you're trying to keep up with these contingencies and these time frames, you're possibly looking at working a full-time job on top of maybe what you have already, which could be a full-time job. So you might lose some sleep, could be worth it in the end for you. Just know that things might get kind of messy and you have a lot to keep up with.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and the majority of for sale by owners throw their hands up in the air and end up listing with a real estate agent. I hope this video is helpful for you. If it was at all, and you are struggling, and you're like, dude, what the heck am I doing?
And your hands are already in the air?
Yep, I hope that we're the people you might think of. We are in the California area, Sacramento area. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions, need any help, or if you are looking to be represented by an agent. So this was a long video, but this is something that needed the detail for you people out there trying to sell your home by yourself, and probably needed more detail, but we don't want to bore you.
So thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or anything, comment down below. And now you know. Yeah, let's charge your camera before